I just left behind a corporate career at a tech startup to become a full-time artist. And I know what you're thinking because I'm also thinking it.
How are you going to make money? Creative jobs do not pay well. Am I talented enough for this?
And honestly, I don't know. But I do know that when I set my mind to something, I give it my all. And if I've learned anything from working at tech startups, it's that I can figure it out. Hi, I'm Kate. I've spent the last 6 years in marketing working for startups, and now I do not. That's crazy to say, but I think I've secretly, not so secretly, wished for a change, and I got it this week. It was definitely unexpected, but I'm taking it as a sign that I should follow my passions, make the leap into the art world, and see where it takes me. I've been oil painting for 3 years now, and I've been sharing my journey on social media, but I think it's time to take it more seriously because it is now my full time job. That is really exciting, but also super scary. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride and we'll see how far I get with this side hobby, now career path of mine. So let's jump into it. Okay, so now that I'm an artist, what is the first thing that I should do? That is a great question. Well, usually when I start at a company, the first thing I do is run an audit to figure out where we're at and what our goals are. So currently, I've been posting here and there on social media to share my art collections. I just launched a collection called The Art of Drag, celebrating drag queens and the artistry that goes into the costume, the performances, like everything that they do. So go check that out. Okay, so social content, we kind of have, I'll give it like half a check mark if you can do that. The next thing is I already have a website and I have my art collections on there as well as some of my prints, but not all of my prints. So that would be one thing that I'd want to improve on. Okay, cool. That's really all I have for the audit. Yeah, obviously my goal is to make money from doing this because I am an independent girly and I need to pay for things. Obviously, my goal is to make money, so having my prints on my website will definitely help with that. Along with that thought, maybe I could start doing commissions and hopefully make money through my content creation at some point. Okay, so next step is how are we going to reach those goals? I am going to do some research. I'm going to find some inspiration, and that will help me feel a little bit better about what I'm doing. Number one, I'm going to use YouTube. Love YouTube, obviously. I'm going to use YouTube to find creators who are doing the things that I would like to be or aspire to be doing. One creator that I've stumbled upon this week, her name is Angela Ho, and she is an artist who started, I think, about a year ago, who also left her job to pursue her passion of creating. Busy Blooming is another creator that I was already following because she just gives really, really great marketing advice. So I'm going to watch some of her videos as well. She has really good advice on social media, marketing, and content creation. And don't hate me on this because I know it's controversial, but I am going to ask ChatGPT as well because it gives good answers. I'm sorry, it does. It is a really good resource for generating ideas. And every time I prompt it, I always ask for like a research backed answer. And that kind of helps give me some kind of data driven ideas. So yeah, I'm going to do all that and I'm going to come back. Okay. Okay. I'm back, and your girl has a strategy. A lot of my strategy heavily relies on social media, which could be the best idea I've ever had, or it could be the worst. But that's okay because we can always pivot. So let's just get into it. Like I mentioned earlier, the first half of my strategy is selling prints, whether that's through my online website or through selling them in person. I have this idea of selling prints on the street in different cities, mainly because I live with my parents right now and we live in a very small town, and selling my prints here on the street will not get me very far. So I plan on starting small first by selling in major cities near me. And then if that does well, then I will go to bigger cities. I could also be a vendor at different shows, but I have tried doing that in the past, and it takes months to get approved for those things and plan those out. And bestie, we do not have months to start generating income. So we are going to have to start selling on the street like they did back in the day. Okay? I plan on putting together like an easy pop up mobile stand that I can pin my prints to. And while I'm out there, I can advertise that I'm doing commissions. Honestly, if you have any advice on selling artwork, please comment that below. I am definitely open to ideas. I am a beginner on this and I want to learn. Okay, the next half of my strategy is up leveling my content and posting consistently. What does that look like? Well, I've categorized my content into 3 categories. So the first category is obviously showing off my artwork, saying that I have commissions, and pushing out my prints, right? Number 1 is my artwork. The second category is what I'm calling muse experiences. With my collection so far, I usually put like Muse X in front of the name of the collection. And with each collection, I try to create like a whole experience around that with short films, interviews. I usually create a web page for all of my collections, so it's like very interactive. You can watch everything from one page. But I want to start doing that same thing, but in a smaller package and maybe with just 1 painting instead of 3. I'm still kind of marinating on what those look like. But for the cohesiveness of this content strategy, we're calling it Muse Experiences. So that's my second content category. The third one is going to be more of like a lifestyle vlog category. This one will include like any series that I do. It's going to include morning routines as an artist, now that I'm full time, what that looks like. It's also going to go over this career change that I'm having. This video is kind of a lifestyle vlog strategy. Yeah, I would categorize this video under this lifestyle vlog category. Also, it'll include selling my prints on the street. It'll include motivational content because I motivate myself every single day. And so I might start sharing that in small, like short form videos here on my channel as well. So yeah, those are 3 categories for our content. Also, I'm doing a video series on my YouTube Shorts and TikTok where I'm literally filming myself every single day as like a diary on my career change. So if you want to watch that, you can totally check it out. So the next thing in my content strategy is I did some research on the best posting times for my content. I asked ChatGPT what the best posting times are, but also since I've been posting for 3 years, TikTok and Instagram already kind of give me that information. So I'm using that over what ChatGPT says just because my audience may be different than the overall generic audience. So I have those listed and I'm going to try to post only within those timeframes as much as I can. The next thing is content templates. So I just wrote down kind of like the goal that I want to have for every single week, and I'm going to try to hit it. But if I don't, that's okay too. But I just feel like it's like a good starting point to figure out if I have time to post this much in a week. Since this is my first week doing it, I won't know until like a couple weeks in. But yes, so templates that I have currently, I have this thing called the Last Stroke series. It is a common trend in the art world to, when you're adding the last stroke on a painting, to show the last stroke and then you zoom out and then you show the whole painting. Well, I did that on one of my paintings and it was dry already. I wasn't actually adding the last stroke. And I got a comment from someone saying that I didn't have to lie to push my art, which is like fair. The whole point was just for me to follow the trend. It wasn't really to like prove that I was really doing the last stroke. I don't really know. But anyway, so I started doing like a last stroke series on that trend where I would add the last stroke to a painting with like a random object. So it's like super obvious that I'm not actually adding the last stroke to the painting. And I thought it was kind of funny. And everyone who watches that content loves it. Those videos on my page get the most views out of all of my other videos. I know that that trend is working, so I want to continue doing that. So that's the first one. The second one is the weekly motivation to start off the week. So that's, like I said earlier, I've had a lot of people tell me that I could be a motivational speaker. I don't know if I have the confidence to do that, but I do motivate myself every single day and I journal everything out and I write affirmations. So I was thinking about doing like some form of that at the beginning of every single week and sharing that with everyone. The next thing is doing 2 vlogs per week. So that's just 2 vlogs of any kind per week, just like some kind of vlog content. And I think that'll change every single week depending on what I'm doing. The other thing is 2 artwork focused posts. So that would include like how I sketch my paintings or my painting process or a reveal, or it could be like a voiceover of like a collection of like why I did that collection or the behind the scenes of that collection. Just anything that is primarily focused on my artwork and sharing that. The other thing I have is 2 trends per week. So I have noticed I've been doing trends more often on my pages. And I will say that I feel like it's like an easy thing to tag along with and it has a good response. So I'm going to keep up with the 2 trends per week. It really shouldn't be like that big of a lift. The other thing I have listed here is 1 long form YouTube video per week. I do feel like this one is kind of a stretch just because I've only been posting YouTube videos. I've been kind of consistent with doing it like every week, every other week, but they've only been like 4 to 6 minutes long. The new goal is to do 15 to 20 minutes in long form YouTube content. Again, I don't know if I'll hit that, but just like it's going to be a goal for now, and we'll see how easy or hard that is as we continue. Okay, and then the last thing that I have listed is posting daily stories on my Instagram. I will say I suck at posting stories. I don't know why. I'm a planner. I like to plan out my content. I like to know what I'm saying. I like to know like the voice, the tone, everything that I'm getting across to the person viewing it. And stories to me are just so random. And I know people enjoy that. And I need to figure out how to do that more often. But I don't know. I don't know. It kind of stresses me out. It's so silly because no one thinks about their stories like that ever, but it just kind of stresses me out. But I do want to start posting daily stories because that's what the algorithm apparently likes. So I'm going to try to do that, but we'll see. Okay, so I've also listed some things here that I would like to experiment with. So that includes, I had a friend tell me that I should experiment with some paid posts. I've never really paid for a post on Instagram or TikTok, but I'm definitely open to it. I think I'd want to have like make sure that it's like a really, really good piece of content before I would, go down that rabbit hole. But I think that's definitely something that I'd want to experiment with. The other thing is I want to push my prints and commissions more. I don't do that at all because I had a job, so I didn't really feel the need to, but now I have a need, so now we're going to do it. Okay, sweet. So now we've written out our strategy for a new career path, and I'm feeling a little bit better about this big change in my life. So now I want to set up some planning tools to help me stay focused and help me stay on top of the tasks and projects that I want to complete. This will include a content calendar, a budget sheet, a task list, and a weekly calendar for myself so that I can block off time for any projects that I'm working on. ChatGPT is a great resource for this because you can just ask it for a template to start off with. For the content calendar, I literally just asked, hey, what's the best way to structure my content calendar? I will be posting on Instagram, stories and post, TikTok, multiple videos a day, YouTube, long form content and YouTube shorts, and Pinterest. And then I just used the one that it gave me. I added some simple color coding as well to mine just because at the end of the day, I am a creative person and I want to have some fun. Okay. Same with my budget sheet. I just asked ChatGPT to come up with a template and then I just filled in the items that make sense for my business and how I want to generate income. For the task list, I'm just using Google Tasks because it's free and it's simple to use. For my weekly calendar, I'm using Google as well, and I'm just blocking out time for my priorities. I like working out in the mornings and journaling to start my day off in the right mindset. I added a 2-hour block to work on content, prints, the website, any admin or operational tasks. And then after lunch, I created a 2-hour block for painting. I've worked really, really hard to create a daily habit of painting, and usually I would do it at nighttime, like around like 8 to 10 p.m. But now I can move it to during the day, which is really cool. Now, I will most likely not follow this schedule to a T, but it is a really good starting point. Usually I work every single night until like 12 to 1 in the morning just because I am a workaholic a little bit, and I really enjoy doing this. So I don't mind working on it. It's really fun for me. But yeah, I know that I'm going to work all day regardless. So this is just kind of like a calendar to help keep me accountable and to let me know like what I accomplished that day and what I should be working on the next day. Okay, besties, we've prepared ourselves as much as possible. I don't think there's anything left to do other than to put in the work and just get started creating. So back to all those questions we had at the beginning of the video.
How are you going to make money? How are you going to be successful with art? Creative jobs don't pay well. Am I talented enough for this?
I still do not have the answer, but I am now more prepared than I was yesterday, so that is something. It's a step in the right direction, and I'll take it. I have no idea if I'm going to make it big, whatever that means, or if in 3 months I'm going to be crawling back to a 9-to-5 job. But if you want to see what happens, give me a follow and I'll take you along for the ride. Okay, here's to stepping into the unknown. Thank you for watching my video. I worked really, really hard on it, and I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Bye.